Hey everyone, ready for another deep dive. Today we're tackling generative AI and what it means for businesses. We're looking at this white paper from Amazon Web Services. It's called the Generative AI Advantage. I think we can all agree there's been a ton of hype around AI, but this one digs into how businesses can really use it. So to get us started, what if I told you your data could be like a secret weapon in the AI world?
It definitely can be, and that's really the focus of this white paper, going beyond those consumer apps we all see, like ChatGPT. This is about how companies use their own data to stand out, get a real edge.
Okay, so let's break that down a bit. When we say generative AI, what are we really talking about? How's it different from those consumer apps?
So at its core, generative AI is all about creating, right? New content, ideas, whether it's marketing copy or even composing music. But for businesses, it's about tapping into their unique data, creating something that nobody else can.
So it's not just using any AI tool, it's about making it yours.
Exactly. And the white paper gives some really cool examples. Take Intuit, the company behind TurboTax. They've built Intuit Assist, this AI assistant, but it's powered by all their data. Small business stuff, taxes, consumer finance. So it gives people advice that's truly personalized.
Wow, that's like having a financial expert who knows your finances inside and out.
Right. And another example is United Airlines. They've actually got applications that pull in all this flight data. So employees get these really concise summaries on flight statuses, especially when there are delays, makes decisions way faster.
So we're seeing it improve how companies work and how they serve their customers. And it all comes back to their own data.
It does. Now let's get a bit technical. The paper talks about these things called foundation models, FMs. They're basically the engines behind lots of generative AI. Think big machine learning models trained on tons and tons of data.
Okay, so those are the heavy lifters. But how do you make them work for your business? Customize them?
There are a couple of ways. One's called fine-tuning. It's like further training, but with your own data. Imagine a fashion company wanting to write amazing product descriptions. They'd fine-tune an FM with their best past copy, their product info. The AI learns how to write like them.
So it's teaching it to speak your brand's language, like a crash course in style.
Exactly. Then there's in-context learning. This one's about guiding the FM to specific data you have, so it can work with stuff that changes all the time, real-time info. A common method is RA, Retrieval Augmented Generation.
RA, okay. I'm intrigued, but how does it make the AI more adaptable?
Imagine an online travel agency, right? They've got all this data, what customers like, past trips, reviews. With R, the AI can access all that in real time to give super personalized recommendations, not just generic stuff.
It's like the ultimate travel agent, remembering every detail you ever told them.
You got it. And to do this, they often use these things called vector embeddings. It's a way to represent data, kind of like a map for the AI to understand relationships and meaning. So it's like a secret code for the AI to navigate all that data. This is amazing, but it sounds pretty intense. What do businesses actually need to have to make this all work?
That's where the idea of a data foundation comes in. It's super important for generative AI. Think of it like building a house.
Yeah.
You need a strong foundation to support everything.
Okay, so what are the blueprints for this data foundation? What goes into it?
First, you need a data lake. That's where you store everything, structured data, unstructured data, you name it. Even those vector embeddings we talked about.
I'm guessing AWS has some tools to help with that?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Services like Amazon S3, AWS Glue, and Lake Formation are all about data lakes. But it goes beyond just storage. You need special databases called knowledge stores that are, optimized for certain types of data.
So the right tool for the right job.
Exactly. And don't forget about data warehouses like Amazon Redshift. They're key for analyzing your operational data, finding those insights that can fuel your AI. So we've got storage, databases, warehouses. Sounds like a whole data city. But I bet connecting it all is just as important.
You're right. Data integration is key. You got to be able to pull data from all over, on-premise, in the cloud, and make it work together. AWS Glue is a big part of that, and AWS can connect tons of different data sources, to keep the information flowing.
We've covered a lot. It's a big undertaking to build this kind of foundation. But what about security? With all this valuable data, how do companies keep it safe?
Really important question. Data security, privacy, governance, those are essential, especially with sensitive information.
So it's not just having the tools, it's using them the right way.
Exactly. Safeguards, policies to protect the data, control access, and make sure you're following the rules. AWS actually offers a bunch of security stuff, like they have encryption using KMS keys, AWS Private Link for secure data transfer, and Amazon Titan FMs, which help spot and deal with harmful content.
Good to know they've got that covered. So we've talked tech, data foundations, security. But it feels like there's more to it, like it's not just about the technical side.
You're right. A successful data strategy is bigger than just the tech. It also takes a mindset shift, a focus on people and having the right processes. It's seeing data as a valuable asset and then empowering everyone in the company to use it.
Okay, unpack that mindset part for me. What does that even mean?
It's moving away from seeing data as just a side effect of what you do. Instead, it's an asset, something that can give you insights, help you build valuable data products.
So it's how we think about data, the value we place on it.
Right, and that leads into the people part. You got to give your employees the skills and tools to actually work with data. Training, creating a data-driven culture, making sure everyone's on board.
So everyone's empowered, no matter their technical background, to use data to make better decisions.
Exactly. And there are some really cool tools popping up that help with this. Amazon Q, for example, uses AI to make data analysis more intuitive, so people who aren't super technical can still get insights.
Wow, that's amazing. But I bet with all that power comes the need for strong processes, right?
Absolutely. Processes means having data governance, making sure things are secure, private, and ethical, setting guidelines for how data is used, responsible AI development, and making sure you can address problems or bias.
So it's a framework for how data is handled throughout the company.
Yes, and that includes AI development. They mention Amazon Code Whisperer in the paper. It's like an AI coding buddy, helping developers write better, more secure code. That way, these processes are actually implemented properly.
It's like a whole system considering tech, people, and how it all works together.
Yeah.
But how do companies even begin with generative AI? Where's the starting line?
The white paper talks about a flywheel approach to data transformation. It's a cycle of improvement. You start small, show the value, then scale up gradually.
Not trying to do everything at once, but build momentum over time.
Exactly. Find a high-value opportunity, build something to address it, and then use that success to keep innovating. They give the example of NatWest Group, a big UK bank. They did a bunch of AI and machine learning stuff using this approach. Started with specific things and got results fast, showing how valuable their data could be.
That's encouraging. You don't have to overhaul everything right away to start seeing the benefits.
Nope. It's strategic, iterative, focus on real value, and build your skills as you go.
Wow, we've covered a lot in this first part of our deep dive.
Right.
Generative AI basics, the data foundation, and that whole idea of a bigger data strategy.
We've laid some good groundwork for understanding how companies can use their data to stand out in the AI world.
Before we move on, though, I want to go back to my first question. Can you imagine your data as a secret weapon in this AI landscape?
I think it's becoming pretty clear that it can be. When you use it right, through generative AI with a good strategy, it can give you a real edge.
That's a powerful thought for everyone to consider as we head into the next part of our dive. We'll be digging even deeper into the takeaways from this white paper and what they mean for you, so stick around.
Welcome back. We're continuing our deep dive into generative AI and the power of data.
We've been digging into this AWS white paper, the Generative AI Advantage. And it's clear that generative AI is, well, kind of a big deal for businesses.
Yeah, it's not just hype. And I think what we've been talking about, how you use your own data, that's what makes it so powerful, like a secret ingredient that only you have.
We've covered foundation models, data foundations, those vector embeddings, even that flywheel idea.
Yeah.
But what's the takeaway for our listeners? What does it all mean?
Great question. I think the first thing is generative AI isn't some far-off thing. It's here. Companies are using it right now to get real results, to compete better.
And it's not just plugging in an AI tool and calling it a day. It's about making it work for your business, your goals.
Absolutely. The magic happens when you customize these models with your own data. That's what makes your AI unique. Think about it. You've got years of customer data, operational data, all these insights. It can all be used to create AI that's tailored for you.
It's like having a team of, data wizards, constantly analyzing your information, finding ways to improve things.
I like that, but it brings up another point, right? Where do you even start with all this? How do you actually do it?
That's what I'm thinking. It sounds like a huge project.
Well, the white paper really stresses the importance of a strong data foundation. That means the right systems for storing, managing, securing your data. It's like if you're building a house, you got to have a solid foundation first.
And we talked about those different pieces, data lakes, knowledge stores, data warehouses. It's a whole data ecosystem.
It is. And the good news is cloud providers like AWS, they have a ton of services to help build and manage all that. But again, it's not just about the tech itself. It's the mindset, the people, the processes.
Right, that think big, start small philosophy.
Yeah.
That seems more manageable, at least.
Exactly. Don't try to tackle everything at once. Pick a project, something specific, and show what you can achieve. Find those wins that prove how valuable your data can be.
So maybe start with a pilot project, get some results, and build from there.
Yeah, exactly. And as you build, keep security and governance in mind. Data protection, responsible AI, having those clear policies in place.
It's like finding that balance, being innovative but responsible.
Right. And that leads to another key takeaway. Upskilling, training. You got to make sure your people can actually work with this stuff, with data and AI.
The paper mentions some tools for that, like Amazon Q. It makes data analysis easier so people who aren't super technical can still understand it.
Yep. Tools like that are really important. They help everyone get involved in this data-driven world, no matter their background.
So it's not just a few data experts, it's making data part of the culture so everyone gets it.
That's when you get real innovation, when everyone can contribute.
This is all super exciting, but let's be real. There are challenges, risks with all this. What do companies need to watch out for with generative AI?
Good point. One big thing is bias. Bias in the data itself can lead to bias in the AI.
Yeah, we've seen those stories where AI systems are unfair because of the data they learn from.
Exactly. You got to be aware of that potential bias. Carefully clean your data, make sure it's representative, that it doesn't reinforce harmful stereotypes.
It's not just about having tons of data, it's about good quality data.
You got it. Bad data leads to bad results. Simple as that. And then there's accuracy, reliability, those AI hallucinations we hear about where the AI makes stuff up, even though it sounds believable.
That can be a big problem, especially when people are making important decisions based on what the AI says.
It is. Remember, AI isn't really understanding things, it's spotting patterns. So we still need humans to check things, to think critically.
We can't just blindly trust it.
Nope. And that's why responsible AI development is so important. It's not just building cool tech, it's making sure it's ethical, that it benefits everyone.
AI for good, not for harm.
Exactly. That's a conversation we need to keep having as AI gets more and more powerful.
So for someone just starting out with all this, what advice would you give them? What's step one?
I'd say education is key. Read up, go to webinars, talk to people who know this stuff. Get a good foundation before jumping in head first.
Do your homework.
For sure. Once you understand the basics, then think about your business. What are your goals? Where could AI actually help? What problems could it solve?
Start with the why before the how.
Exactly. Then start looking at your data setup. Where are the gaps? And start building that foundation.
And remember that flywheel approach, right? Start small, prove the value, then scale it up.
Yep. And don't forget about the people. Training, a data-driven culture, responsible AI. It all matters.
It's that bigger picture, looking at tech, people, and how they work together.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And I think that's a good spot to take a break.
All right, so in this part, we've gone deeper into the white paper, talked about the good and the bad of generative AI, and gave some practical advice.
We've given everyone some tools to navigate this AI world.
But there's still more to come. When we're back, we'll look at real-world examples of companies using generative AI and what the future might hold for all this.
It's going to be interesting to see where it all goes from here.
I can't wait. See you back here soon for the final part of our deep dive. And we're back for the final part of our generative AI deep dive.
We've talked theory, strategy, all that good stuff. Now let's see it in action. How are companies actually using this technology?
Yeah, real-world examples are always the best, right? Helps to see how it all comes together.
Totally. Remember Intuit? With their AI assistant, Intuit Assist.
Yeah, the one that's like a personalized financial advisor.
Right. They're using all their data, like years and years of it, on small businesses, consumer finances, taxes, all to give people really specific advice.
It's incredible how AI can make that kind of advice, sophisticated stuff, available to pretty much anyone.
It's pretty amazing. And what about United Airlines using AI to make their operations smoother?
Oh yeah, summarizing those crazy flight status updates. makes a huge difference when you need information fast.
Exactly. They pull data from all these different places and bam, employees have a clear picture, can react quickly, customers are happier.
It's a great example of how AI helps people do their jobs better, not replaces them.
Totally. And those are just two examples. We're seeing this everywhere, like healthcare using generative AI to speed up drug discovery, marketing creating those hyper-personalized ads, even education tailoring lessons for each student.
It feels like every day there's a new use case popping up.
And this is still early days. As the technology keeps getting better, who knows what it'll be able to do? It's exciting.
It is, but it also makes you wonder, where is all this going? What's the future of generative AI?
I think these AI models are just going to keep getting smarter. More accurate, more powerful, able to do things that we need humans for now. Imagine AI writing symphonies, designing buildings, even novels.
That's both amazing and, I don't know, a little bit scary. But all that power comes with responsibility.
Oh,
right?
absolutely. As AI gets more capable, we have to think about the ethics. Making sure it's used for good, that it benefits everyone, not just a few. Avoiding unintended consequences, you know?
It's a tool, powerful, but it matters how we use it.
I completely agree. And that's the conversation we need to keep having as a society. It's not just about the tech, it's about our choices, the future we're building.
So as we wrap up, what's the one thing you want our listeners to remember about generative AI?
It's a huge opportunity for innovation, and your data is at the heart of it. Don't be afraid to explore, experiment, but do it responsibly, strategically. It's not just about the tech. It's about the people, the way we use it, the values that guide us.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
Well, that brings us to the end of our generative AI deep dive. Hope you enjoyed the journey.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Remember, this is a constantly evolving field, so keep learning, keep exploring. And we'll see you on the next deep dive.